やっぱり日本っていうのはやればできるんだと若い人あるいは国民に示したいと思ってるんですよね。
Everything is proceeding on schedule. Since the company was founded, all of our milestones have been achieved as planned. For example, with the factory construction, we held the groundbreaking ceremony in September 2023, exactly 1 year after our establishment. Once the factory was nearly completed, in December 2024, we began installing manufacturing equipment, including an EUV lithography system, the first in Japan. Over the next 3 months, all equipment was installed in the facility, and by April 1st, 2025, we were able to conduct exposure operations. We proceeded with equipment connection, and by June, the pilot line started operation. Furthermore, in mid-July 2025, we hosted a customer event and reached the stage of providing more refined samples. First, there have been major changes in terms of the people working at our company. Currently, we are adding 30 to 40 engineers and administrative staff each month, and the organization is expanding rapidly. Among these, about 150 engineers went to IBM's Albany, New York site in the US, where over the course of 2 years, they engaged in joint training and high-volume manufacturing development. Since then, about half of them have returned to Japan and are now working in Hokkaido. A major change is that we have reached the point where the plans we envisioned are being steadily realized through the capabilities of the people who have joined our team. From an industry-wide perspective, AI has advanced rapidly over the past 3 years. Along with this, demand for semiconductors that support AI solutions have also grown dramatically. AI is increasingly being used at sites where these semiconductors are needed. The environment has changed significantly. Digitalization is no longer limited to infrastructure-level development, but is now rapidly advancing in actual usage scenarios and on a daily life level. These changes represent an unprecedented turning point for Japan, and the fact that such developments have occurred over these 3 years represents a major shift. We believe a solid foundation has been established for the next growth phase. So in that sense, our 3rd anniversary holds great significance. That said, the real challenge starts now. We must demonstrate our capabilities, complete prototypes, prove our abilities to the world, and gain customer trust. This next phase is extremely important. To be honest, I didn't realize that Hokkaido already has companies in primary industries that operate at a global level. They have grown through their own ingenuity, and many of them have a strong entrepreneurial spirit. Given this background, I strongly feel there is great potential for new industries to flourish significantly in Hokkaido. With Rapidus establishing its operations in Hokkaido, if AI industries utilizing semiconductors can connect with local markets, we believe it will create highly beneficial synergies for both sides. We want to achieve results that will make both Rapidus and Hokkaido proud and underscore the importance of this decision. When we first launched Rapidus, there were many voices, both domestically and internationally, questioning whether such a technological leap could really be achieved in Japan. At the time, the 40 nanometer generation was mainstream in Japan. So our challenge of jumping directly to 2 nanometers without going through FinFET and other technologies naturally raised doubts and concerns. However, as the world moves toward transitioning from FinFET to gate-all-around technology at the 2 nanometer generation stage, we recognize this is extremely challenging, but we are convinced that taking on this challenge will give us both technological and business advantages. Technologically, rather than catching up with existing technologies, the opportunity to co-develop cutting-edge fields with world-class partners like IBM, the original developer of our 2 nanometer semiconductor technology, is extremely rare. Looking ahead, we are entering an era where demand will grow for semiconductors designed for specialized markets, and where AI will play an increasingly central role. In such an era, one factor will be decisive: speed. The speed to move from development to responding to customer needs and to delivering solutions. For our customers, that speed is the single most important value. If we can achieve this speed, and Japan can demonstrate this capability, the next generation will gain something greater: hope and a renewed pride in the belief that Japan can do it. We want to pass that spirit on, not only to young people, but to the Japanese people as a whole. With that renewed pride, young people will step forward with the courage to take on bold new challenges. And if these efforts succeed, they will also transform the way support is provided at the national level, opening new paths for the future. When you take on something new, the road ahead is never clear. You will run into difficulties, sometimes more than you expect. The question is, how do you see those moments? Do you call them failures and stop there? Or do you take them as signs that if you push through, something new can be created? That by overcoming them, you set yourself apart. That's the real turning point. And that's why I always say, don't fear failure, keep challenging. Through the process of overcoming difficulties repeatedly, significant differentiation and technologies and value that other companies cannot achieve are born. Being able to share that sense of purpose is important. At Rapidus, we hold entrance ceremonies for mid-career hires almost every month. The majority are people in their 50s who joined mid-career. Many of them entered the industry in the 1990s, when Japan was still a world leader in semiconductors, and they are now around 50 years old. Having experienced the frustration of Japan's decline in the semiconductor industry, they have cut off their retreat and are re-challenging cutting-edge technology at our company. This enthusiasm and energy are infectious. That passion is spreading to younger generations, creating new challenges, one after another. This is a tremendously large undertaking, but it is also deeply meaningful work for Japan. And I feel very fortunate to be involved in this project. However, Japanese companies still have a deeply rooted culture of fearing failure. Many supervisors cannot take responsibility for their employees' failure and even blame their subordinates for their own failures. This causes subordinates to lose motivation and stifles the momentum for taking on challenges. We are changing this. Building a corporate culture where the entire organization supports challenges is what I believe is most important for our success.